Hello everyone, welcome back again and Merry Christmas to everybody. So in today's wonderful tutorial, we'll be trying to see how to structure our Streamlit app into different formats, right? So most of the time when we build a Streamlit app like this, it was one giant monolithic file, right? Which is quite huge, very interesting. And it is one file which can be sometimes difficult to maintain, right? Because it's one file. So if you make a mistake somewhere, the entire thing will crash. So let's see how to convert this entire one monolithic file into a different structure. So as we know, there are several ways we can structure an app. It can be monolithic, right? That is just one big file that does everything. Then you can also have microservice, which is the other alternative, in which you break them into individual components that can run on its own. Then you can also have modular, right? So or Modulith, in which you are combining the best of microservice and then the best of monolith to build one file, but it is in modules, right? Modular, right? Or Modulith. Then you also have service oriented architecture. So let's see how to convert our monolithic file into a modular format, right? Not microservice. Microservice have to work with different broken part of the app, communicating over an API, but that's not what we'll be doing. We'll be trying to work on this. So a simple picture to help us understand is that this is what you'll be doing at the end. So in case you are building an app, let's say a simple data app that has an ED aspect and then an ML aspect. So you can convert them into this particular structure. You can take all the ED aspect into one particular file, which can run on its own, or you can also take the ML aspect and put it in one particular file, right? Then you're going to import them into your app.py file in this particular format. So it's going to be similar to something like Flash blueprint. So it's going to be from ED app import run ED app, then from ML app import run ML app. Then you're going to say if the choice is EDA, I want you to run the EDA session of the app, right? Something very simple. So we're trying to see how to convert this our app that we had, which had the home session, which was having a single verse session, right? And then the multi-verse session, which was also having the option of setting multi-verse like this, multiple verses, into modules, right? So that is something very simple we're trying to do. So let's see how to work with it. So the structure of the app is going to be something like this. We're going to move from this option, right? So this is what I was talking about monolith and then microservice. So monolith is like everything is together in one particular structure, right? Then microservices are breaking them into individual sessions and they are communicating over a particular API. But that's not what you'll be doing. Trying to see how to restructure this one to something similar to this, but not microservice. So another picture to help you understand, this is monolith, everything is together. Microservice, you are breaking them into individual sessions. So let's see how to structure our app into this particular format. So monolithic to modulith, right? Or modular. So we're going to break the single verse session of the app, right, into one particular file, the multi-verse session of the app into one particular file. We're going to be imported them into app.py file in this particular format. So it's going to be from single verse app import single verse. So let's see how to do that. So the basic idea behind this is to help our code to be easy to maintain. So we're trying to see how to do static code analysis on our code to see how maintainable our code is. So we'll be using Radon. So in case you don't have Radon, you can just go with pip install Radon, right? To install Radon on your system. So I've already installed it, so just go straight away. We're trying to see how to check for how maintainable our code is. Let's go with the help. So with the help, it's going to show us with Radon, you can do some basic analysis. You can check how maintainable your code is using the MI maintainability index. You can check for some metrics like the house state matrix that helps you to know the number of bugs, the effort you took to run your code. You can also check for the cyclomatic complexity, which is the independent decision part your app or the features or the functions and methods within your app takes. So let's see how to work with it. So I just come back again, then go to Radon, then app.py, then I can just go with dash mi, right? So mi is going to be the maintainability of the app, maintainability index of the app. Then it's going to run it perfectly for us. So it's giving us an error because I rechanged it. So it's going to be this option. So mi, then the app.py. So it's going to analyze it and give us our result. So it's A. So A means that it's easy to maintain. Based on what you have done so far, it is not that difficult to maintain. It's just 166 lines of code. So you can maintain this one, but it's not the best, right? You can actually check for the score by going with -s. So it's going to tell us how maintainable our code is, and it's 58% maintainable, right? Let's check for some other metrics before we move on. So I can just go and check for the raw, then I'll go with the app. So this is also going to tell us all the information about it. So the lines of code is 166, which is the same thing here, right? as you are seeing from this particular place, right? Once it says, so these are some basic stuff. You can the multi-line, the single command, source line of codes, right? All of this information. There's a whole video on how to work on it. And then let's check for the last one, which is going to be the cyclomatic complexity of the app. So we have F stand for functions, and then we have this. So these are the only two functions there, right? And then we can also check for the house tilt matrix, which in this particular place you can check for the possibility of bugs. So the possibility of bugs is this particular option. The time it will take is 13, right? Almost 13, right? And then the effort it will take is this, right? And the difficulty level is this. So that is something very simple. Now let's move on and see how to structure our app. And then we will come back again to this particular option. So I'll go back to the app that we have, which is this one that is running here, right? So I'm going to make a backup of this particular one. So I'll make a backup of this. So I'll come back again into my folder. So let's make a backup of this. So I'll copy this one, and this is going to be the backup, right? The backup of the entire stuff. This is the monolith, right? So this is the monolith. So I'll call it as version 0.1 mono, right? Monolith, right? So you're trying to see how to do the modulate, right, into models. Apologies for how long the video is becoming, just to help you understand what you are doing. So I just come back again to this particular one. I'm going to create 3 files based on the picture that we had. We'll be creating two files, this one and this one, then you're putting them in their respective places. So I'll come back again. Then I'm going to save this one and call it as single verse app. So I'll save it in the same place that I have. So this is going to be single verse app.py, right? And then I'll create another one. I'm going to call it as multiverse app.py. Multiverse app.py. Okay, so we have 2 different files as we are seeing from here, right? So we have gotten this file. Now I'm going to move them into their respective places. So I'll come back again, and then I'm going to go back to the main app. I'm going to copy everything from here. So I'll copy everything, the core part of the app, together with the EDA and then the plot. So I'll copy this, everything from the main app, put it here, right? Then I'll do the same thing. Yeah, so that is something very simple. So that is all. Now in our main app.py, if you check this app.py here, let's go back. If I go back to the home, we can see that we did not have any plot there, right? So there was no plot, only just the details that we had, right? There was nothing, there's no plot there. So because there was no plot, we will be taking out the matplotlib from that place. So I'll take off this because there was no plot here. And that is all, right? Something very simple. So let's come back again and create a simple function. So this is going to be our simple function that is going to run everything. It's going to be def. I'll call it as, you can give it a single name. So single verse. You can even call it as run single verse. Anyhow you want it to be, run single verse, something like this. Right. Then I'll come back again. Then I'll call it as st.subheader. So this is going to be my single verse search, right, or retrieval. Perfect. So something very simple. So this is a simple function. So I'll go back again to the app itself. Then I'm going to go back to the choice, the home session, and take off everything from here, all the stuff there, till the multiverse. So I'll copy this, cut it from there, so no more there. Let's cut it off, so it's no more there. So if you check it, it is no more there, right? Now go back to the single verse app, then I'll paste it here. So shift, paste it there, perfect, right? So I'm going to paste everything there, perfect. So let's take off this one. Perfect, right? Everything is working as expected. Now we need to be able to work on the database. We already loaded the database from here, as you can see, this particular function. So since we loaded it, we will be using that same function to load our data. So I'll come back again. So db df, then I'll go back to my load bible, and I'll pass in to the location just as we had here. We had this particular function here. So I'm moving it from here, from this place to here. Let's save it. Perfect. So if I save it, everything is working. Now if I go back and check the app is going to break. right? So let's save it and let's see what I'm talking about. So I'll go back to the main app, I'll save it, come back again, check it out. Let me come down here, let me reduce it here. Okay, so I come back. If I go with always run, that now the app is going to break, right? That is giving us an error. It's breaking, right? So the reason it's breaking because of injection. That's one of the things you're going to have. It's always going to break. So I'll come back to this place and fix it. So I'm going to go back and go with pass, right? So now it's no more going to break. It's going to give us an empty place. It's detecting the changes. So loading the Bible, but it's empty, right? Because there is nothing here. If you can see, we have nothing here, right? So let me make it like this so that it save us time. Right, so this is going to help us save us time. Okay, perfect. So you can see that we can't see anything from the home session. It's empty because it's passed, right? Now I'm going to go back again to the app itself. Then from here I'm going to import what I need to import. So I'm just going to go back here, right? And then let's say from my single verse app, right, import. So what am I importing? I'm importing this particular function that we had, this run single verse function. So import run single verse, right? So that is a function I'm importing. Then I'll come back again to the home session here. Then I'll run that particular function, run single verse. It's a function, so I'm going to run it. Now the moment I do that, you can see that we can see the changes being reflected on our app, right? So you see that you can see the changes is reflecting, and you see that everything that was there initially is coming perfect, right? So everything is working as expected. So if I expand it, you can see that our app is working, right? So this is making it more easy to maintain. Perfect. So we have modularized one section of the app, right? Very cool and very nice, and everything works. If I put in, let's say 2 and then 7, it's still working, right? It's still working with our database, with our data, right? But this is loading twice, so you have to fix that particular one. So now it's working, right? 2.7. It's giving us everything is working as expected. Very cool, right? So we have seen how to fix this particular issue of converting everything from the single into the single app, then putting it here, right? Very cool. Now let's go back again and repeat the same process for the other one. So if I expand this one now, you can understand the basic concept behind what you have done. So I'll come back again, right? And then I'll do the same thing for the multiverse. I'll come back to the app itself, go down, and then remove everything from here, everything down to the about section of the app. Cut everything from here. So now it is simple. So you see that we have the home session, the single session. So let's go with pass for now. Then I'll come back to the multiverse. I'm going to create a function. I'm going to call this particular function, say run multiverse, right? Then I'll paste in, it's supposed to be this option, run multiverse. Now paste in everything there. Perfect. So this is also going to be on its own. Perfect. Now, just as I did for the single verse, I'm also going to copy everything from here. All of these things, the core part of the app, the EDA part, we had some plot, we had the option of loading, we have the utils. So I'm going to copy all of these things from here to here. Right, perfect. So we have one for here, we have one for this. Perfect. So I'll come back to the app itself, the main app. Then I'm going to repeat the same procedure. It's going to be from multiverse app, import run multiverse, right? So we are importing this particular function that we had here, this simple function we had here, right? Run multiverse, right? We're importing that one, but you have to also remember to bring the database here. So just as we had this particular database option, or I call it database, but it's dataset rather. There's another way you can also do it, but let's go with the simple one. Now if I go back and I check it out, so this is the initial app, the single verse session of the app is working. You see that it's not breaking. The single verse section of the app works. If I go back to the multiverse section of the app, I check it out, it's going to run. it's loading the Bible, but there's nothing there because we have not called the function. So to call the function, I'm just going to move the path from here. Then I'm going to say run that multiverse function. So as you can see, this is something very simple. We have made it very clean. So I go back and I check it out again. So it's running. Perfect. So now the app is working as expected. Right. Very cool. So the multiverse section of the app is working as expected. Right. It's something very simple. Everything is working as expected. Cool. Together with the sidebar and everything. Now let's take off, do some simple cleaning. So I'll take off this one because we don't need it. We don't need to be loading it for the main app. Right, something very simple. Cool. So we have the single verse section of the app, the multiverse section of the app, and then we can now clean off this because these things are being imported here. They are being imported here. So to prevent dry, I'm going to take off this. We don't need this one. We don't even need this one again. Right. It's from the utils. The only thing we need for the utils is that we need only the HTML banner. Right. That's the only thing we need. I can take off this. Perfect. So that it has become very simple. So we have it like this. So this is the core app, right? Very important. Then these are the utils, which is coming from the utils that we had with all the design. This is going to be the single verse app section of the app, the multiverse section of the app. Then we're going to import them here. So if the choice is home, run single verse app. If the choice is multiverse, run multiverse app. And then we have the single verse. Inside the single verse, we have everything. So this is a standalone app that can run on its own. It's a standalone app that can also run on its own. And if I check back what we have done so far, our app is working as expected. Right? If I go back, there's nothing breaking. Perfect. That means that our app is working. So we have converted our app from being a monolithic to a modular, right, or Modulith, right, app, and everything works as expected. Very cool. Together with the plots and everything, right. You can even search for stuff. But the problem with this one is that I don't know whether I've not checked about the performance, but this is easy to maintain. So let's check for something like, let's say today is Christmas, so let's check for Jesus. If you are watching from the future, today is 25th. So now if I go back and I check it out, right, if I check it now, it's going to give us all the verses that have the name Jesus. Everything is working perfectly, right? Very cool and then very nice. So thank you for watching this long tutorial. So the basic idea behind all that we have done is that we saw how to convert a monolithic file into a modular or Modulith file, right, by breaking them into individual sections, then importing them into our main app.py. So if I go back to the app itself, let's check it again. So if I check for the tree now, you can see we have a different structure. So let's check it out. I have to install it. So let me install it. So I finished installing it. So if I go with tree, right, tree allows us to be able to give it in a very nice format. Right? This is the first time I'm running it. That's why it's giving us this particular command. So we're going to list the structure of the app for us. So let's do it again. So perfect. So this is the app that we have so far. So we have the main app. These are the backups. The main app, right? And now we are breaking them into individual ones. So this is something very simple. So we have the multiverse app and we have the single verse app, right? Very simple. So the app is going to work like normal. So that is the basic understanding, right? So let's check the radon before we go on. So I'm going to go back again and check it radon. My maintainability index of my app. Then I'll just check for the score. So the other one was 58. Now let's check and see what it's going to give to us. So now this is 74. That means that it's very, very maintainable, right? It has moved from 58 as we saw earlier on to 74, right? Very cool. If I check for how the cyclomatic complexity of the app, is also going to give us, right, only one. Very cool. Then I can now check back again for the house steel matrix. And now it is better, right? The bugs has been reduced, right? Totally reduced. The time has reduced from 13 to 0.7. The effort has also reduced, right? Very cool. So trying to convert your monolithic to a models or individual models or Modulith makes your app very simple and then easy to maintain. So that is the basic understanding behind what you have done. So thank you for watching this tutorial. In case you have any question or contribution, you can just put inside the comment section below, and please don't forget to subscribe. So the basic idea of what we did was that we took our main file, then we broke them into individual sessions by taking every session of the app into individual apps, right, like this. So I can actually run this individual app. So how do I run this single app? So I come back again. This is just a single verse app. In case I want to run it, I just come back again and do the if main here. Or I can just go straight away if main, then I'll go with the run single app, right? Or I can just call the function. If I save it, I can run only the single one. So let's run it. Go back again to my terminal. Right, and I want to run only that particular session of the app. It's going to be my Streamlit. Run the single verse app. Right, so you're running only the single verse app. So mind you, our main app is running on port 8501, right, together with them, which is having the home and then the multiverse, but we are running the other one also, the single verse one. So structuring it in this way makes it easy for us. Let's open it on ports, a different port altogether. So if I copy this one and let's open it, copy this and open it on a different port. That is the port that is being opened here, right? This is ready on Chrome, on Mozilla. So I'll copy the same thing here. And then I hope you're enjoying this. I hope it's not boring. I hope it's not complicated. But in case you want it in a simple format, you can check the links below. I have a very different simple one there. That is in case this is too heavy. So now see we have two different apps running, and then the other app is within the other app and it's still running because we modularized it. Take some time for it to run, then everything is going to work perfectly as expected. So now it's loading, and the single verse section of the app works as expected, right? So single verse retrieval, it's loading the Bible, right? So that means it's still connecting to the data set that we had. It's that all the various features are working, right? Very cool and very nice. That is something very simple with this basic understanding. So we are running two different apps, right? But one app is within the other app because of the structure. So thank you for watching this tutorial. See you in another session. Stay blessed. Bye. Merry Christmas.